Here we go, Game 3, Catman Champions and Solaire Club. So, one of these teams is going home, the other one is moving on. This is the losers bracket round 3, which means this is, you lose and you're out. That's the word losers bracket. That's not supposed to just be mean to these teams, although I guess you could take it that way too. Either way, pretty good comeback from Catman Champions in Game 2 after they had their opportunities in Game 1 and couldn't quite close the deal. We never even synced, did we?
Nope. I was still waiting for you.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
5. All right. Sorry about that. I just so eager and excited to get the game underway that I forgot to get the game underway. Anyway, yeah, so Catman Champions coming back there in Game 2 had a pretty solid performance, and we'll see if they can turn that momentum into another Game 3 victory and take out Solaire Club, which I have to say I think would be an upset at this point. Definitely Catman Champions not really the team that you would expect to be, going up against Solaire Club at this point in the bracket and beating them, but this is new Catman Champions, and they're looking a lot better. I have to say, Time to Die, good player. Perhaps one of the more underrated players in the scene.
For sure. I don't like his mannerisms, but I can't deny he's a good player.
And just kind of makes you wonder, Twisted Fusion, what were you thinking about kicking Archie Tiger and Time to Die? Archie Tiger now.
Well, considering I know he has subpar mannerism.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can imagine there was maybe a bit of raging and unfriendliness going on or something.
Yeah. Certainly possible. Well, either way, definitely found a new home here with Catman Champions, and things are looking pretty good for them as they're trying to knock off Gold Division veterans in Solaire Club. First couple of bands from the Time to Die are Parasite and Tempest, so again, jungle focused, as Jistman also going to ban the Ophelia off the bat, and then the Cthulhuphant. So played first pick. Who's ready? Oh, Silhouette first pick, so worked really well for them
This
last game.
drafting, seems like the same thing over and over again with the bans and the picks.
It often does. I think
Not much standing out.
we're sort of in the position in Gold Division right now where they mostly emulate what the top teams are doing. They're good enough to recognize the best strategies that have been developed by teams that are better than them, copy them and execute them well enough that they work, but they're not really at the point where they're playing against those strategies and losing to them because they're like, other teams are playing them with those strategies, and that's relatively even. When you go up against the same strategy, but it's a team that's better than you, that you're going to lose, and then you're forced to innovate. So, at this point, they're essentially saying, we can win using these strategies because we're not playing the teams that are playing these strategies better than we do. And so this is the point, basically, where you don't see a lot of innovation. Yeah.
What you're describing is was very popular back in the day with like Tri-Lanes and Fnatic, and back in those days.
Right.
That's exactly how it was in the like not the top tiers, but the ones below that. Everyone just emulated what the top teams did.
Right.
And they didn't really know what was good with the stuff. Like they couldn't really analyze the games as well, so they were kind of stuck there.
So I mean, it's a bit of an awkward place to be in, but it's effective enough while you're there. It's just that getting out of that from, breaking out of that bracket into the next tier is really, really difficult because it requires you to not just understand what is good by looking at what works, but why it's good, and therefore what the weaknesses could be, where it can be improved and stuff like that. And usually, if you can understand that, then you just develop your own strategies anyway. But I mean, some teams do break that ceiling, so it's always nice to see when the team, especially like Willowkeeper, comes out of nowhere and gets a bunch of players that were not very well known, and they have what seems to be a pretty keen understanding of what wins and why it wins, and even how to beat it on a pretty regular occasion, regardless of what happened last cycle. But
it's interesting with the thing with Willowkeeper because not long ago we were the better team. We usually won in scrims and stuff, but they just they scrimmed a lot. They took it seriously and they went to the tops.
Yeah, it shows you what you can do if you put in a little practice. And the thing that I like the most about them is that they're not named players. For the most part, they are not guys that you really know very well. They're just a good team. They've been together for a long time, and they know what they're doing. They're comfortable playing with each other. and they feel confident in their strategy.
Kind of the same with the old recent gaming with the Imba Boy and Sane and those guys. They weren't big names, but they played together so much and they got good.
HTS3 777 in Justice League.
Exactly.
Yeah. Always good teams, never quite up there. That's the thing that frustrates me about Raging Gaming is like they seem to be unable to really break into that like top 1 or 2 slot. I'm not sure if there's ever been a point at which they were better than the number 3 team.
Well, like, I think it's a bit of personal skill coming in the way. I know Imba Boy is a very good player, but you need all your players to be phenomenal.
Right. Well, I mean, they had Imba Boy, they had Zane, who I think is a pretty fantastic player, and they had Probusk, who's a pretty fantastic player. Adro...
But Probusk is a new addition, isn't it?
Probusk was old Reason. Probusk is new to Dawn.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Adro perhaps a little bit easy to pigeonhole, because he basically played like 2 support heroes for the entire CIC event, which was kind of funny.
Wow, Defiler.
Yeah, that's interesting. We should probably talk about this game at some point. Anyway, Legion's going to pick up Silhouette, Kraken, Bubbles, and Empath. Hellborn to counter with Gauntlet, Defiler, Dr. Repulsor, and Torturer. So, Noob McNoob already in possession of that Dr. Repulsor hero, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it in the jungle. But once again, yeah, greed is feed. This is a reasonably greedy lineup. It's not as bad as previous games, but yeah, putting the Doctor in the jungle is definitely not considered a, typical thing.
Silhouette and Kraken on the same team seems to be a recurring thing. I think every game has had those 2 heroes on the same team.
Yeah. I think so. Game 1 was Silhouette and Kraken. Yeah, Army of Mums was playing Kraken and Ganondorf was playing Silhouette, so that's true. Well, good heroes, and they work fairly well together, I guess. They both have portal keys and strong initiation. One has a bunch of lockdown, the other one has a bunch of damage. Makes sense.
What do you think about the Torture first pick here? I saw the Hellborn team actually picking him first.
Did he really?
You like?
Oh, I hate that. Oh, I hate that. I don't like Torture very much in general.
Okay, I thought he was a support with the most win percentage.
No, he's very, very much not. Okay. Alright, we're all in. No, Torture was the top picked hero in CIC, I think, and he's still really far up there in terms of the leaders for pick percentage. Alright. Well, I think it's a push lineup. What do you think?
I really hope they do push, or else they're going behind. I hope you're right.
All right. Well. Okay. Anyway,
I thought was the absolutely most.
He's a top pick, but his winning percentage has been in the low 40s for most of the last 6 months.
Okay, that's interesting.
He's actually one of the worst offenders in terms of the heroes that are picked way too often. Because out of the heroes that are picked a lot, usually they have really high winning percentages because people recognize, oh, he's a good hero. Torture, not so much. And somebody posited that it was because Rhapsody was doing so well, and it was always Torture versus Rhapsody because those are the only 2 support heroes anybody ever picked. But I ran that as well, and it was like Torture's win percentage goes up when it's not playing against a Rhapsody, which is obviously the case because Rhapsody was winning a lot. But it doesn't even go up as much as other heroes like Engineer or Empath or stuff like that, who are already a higher winning percentage than Torture. And level 1 Kong.
Yep. That's
Solaire Club's in, man.
I'd like to see that. It's so good because it's so obvious that you don't think about it.
Yep. And Legion side are not thinking about it. They have 3 heroes headed top, and 1 headed mid, and 1 headed bot. So they're completely unaware there's a Kongor going off. And actually, this is a good Kongor team.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
I love when this happens. I think it's so nice. Punishes people for not being paying attention and stuff. I love it so much.
Alright. So that Gauntlet Enfeeble is doing work, and it's going to be a pretty easy Kongor kill. In fact, they should get it with well more than enough time to make it back to their lanes. Torturer's Garden is in bloom.
Who do you think is gonna jungle? Is Balthagor or
no, it's gonna be Doctor.
Kongor has been slain.
Noob is their jungle player, and actually it's gonna be a token on him. which is interesting.
First item bottle.
Yep, he does what he usually does. Yeah.
This inventory is not the one you usually see, I guess.
What? Are you not used to saying that? Token bottle. It's pretty standard on Doctor.
Token bottle. Best items.
I'm confused. That's my Doctor build.
That's what I see every day in Team. That's my Doctor build.
Alright, so they're going to be a little bit late to the top lane, but it looks like it's going to be Defiler and Torture up here against an aggressive tri-lane of Myrmidon, Empath, and Kraken, which is not bad. Kraken is going to be in some trouble. We'll see if they can get anything out of this. Actually, Torture going to get pushed back into the tower, but he might be okay. He's pretty alright. Myrmidon now having to run away. Last auto attack will finish him off. So they got the Kongor, they got the Bloodlust, and they got a team that's going to snowball crazy and start to push a whole bunch of towers really, really quickly. I would say the Catman champions are in trouble already.
Yes, that's how it usually is when you are down a Kongor in level 1. I mean, you just have to like make the best of it and try to keep it a stalemate.
They have no experience based on the sliders at the top. It's all red, and
yeah. It's, for me, it's even past the bar. It was for a second. That looked very strong.
Yeah, no, it was past the bar. Now they're finally getting something back here, but pretty substantial golden experience late, especially for this early on. So the aggressive tri-lane, which is kind of interesting to me, especially with Kraken, as powerful a solo laner as he is. I don't know why you put him. Oh, nothing. No.
So close.
They're fine.
But I think we have to sync, by the way.
Oh, yeah, do we? Alright, I'm at 2 minutes on the in-game counter. 201, 202, 203, 204, 205.
Okay, it's fixed.
Alright. Sorry about that. Anyway, speaking of that, bottom lane actually do manage to kill Army of Mums, so this is Suicide Balfagor. And going up against this Silhouette. His minions are chasing him down, doing a pretty good job. But I gotta say, I'm not really happy with Army of Mums for using the Garbagor Alphagor or Balfagor alt avatar. It's a solid alt, but man, get his cookies. Get the cookies. Just such a good alt. So much better.
The cookies one is one of the best skins in the game, I think.
The death sound again just makes me laugh so much.
Actually, people who don't play HoN, I usually go on YouTube and show them that skin because it's so funny. Just like this skin is in the game I play, and they're usually jealous.
What the hell is wrong with you?
No, they're jealous
of
the skins that are in my game.
The reaction that I get from people who, when I tell them I play HoN, it's usually what the hell is wrong with you. Anyway, Kraken at the top lane, giving me a lot of trouble bottom. They get Marcus Moy, so Balfagor getting the counter kill. Weedfield going to catch 2 in the top lane. We'll see if they can actually kill this Empath. They're really diving for it. They're going to get it with the Defiler, and looks like Doc going to be in a lot of trouble as he's going to take the tower death, but then again, the token going to bring him right back up, so he should be fine. Weedfield will catch him, though. Kraken could be in some trouble. Magnetic Contraption is going to finish him off. Doctor's still going to die to the tower. Auto attacks, and now all of a sudden Torture is like, yeah, I got this. It's fine. Last auto attack from Myrmidon will finish him off, so Link going to pick up a double tap. And that'll be really, really helpful for him.
That was a true Stan Marsh move.
Not gonna happen.
That's something Stan Marsh would have done, I think.
Well, he wanted that kill, man, and then he quickly realized, I'm not gonna get this kill.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that you should never put Balfagor against a Silhouette, but he actually managed to get a kill on him or on her, so this
pretty
is fine.
Surprising.
Yeah, I don't think you should.
I don't understand why they put Kraken in this tri-lane. Like, out of all the heroes you could possibly put in the tri-lane, okay, Bubbles would be worse, that's true. Silhouette tri-lane?
Yeah, I like Silhouette tri-lane, it's fine.
And that lets Kraken get solo experience, which is something he wants. At this point, he's going to be massively underleveled. Especially if he dies. Again. Oh, Wall actually going to stop the Doctor, and that's pretty good. They're just holding hands and running around. Like, this is not working.
They should leave Kraken here. Send first bottom stack and pull.
I agree.
This is the same thing we see so many games. People don't really know how to play support. I'm sorry, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
People need to learn to make adjustments.
Probably gonna take a torrent, but that's the wall. Weed field not really there though. Kraken gets the charge off. Essence Link also gonna stun. So actually, gonna put out some good counter damage. Defiler definitely gonna die here. Trying to get some counter kills. That's not gonna happen. Actually, here comes Kraken. Bottom lane. Marcus Moy managed to pick off Army of Mums. Torture gonna get the 2-man chain reactions, but that's not gonna be enough. And actually, nope, good. We are waveform away from Myrmidon, and we'll be just fine. So, Torture pulling the wave, and Legion side recognized. It's a good time to go. And just pick up
I'm surprised the Torture hasn't been able to buy boots yet. He got a Kongor and 3 assists. He should have had boots, I think. It would be really good for him.
Maybe he does. Maybe they're in the base. I don't know why you would buy them in the base when there's a side shop right there, but maybe he's drunk. I don't know.
He does have it in the base, or what?
I'm saying maybe he has boots, but they're in the base. I don't know why you would do that because there's a shop right there, but it seems like unnecessary.
Probably not.
Use
I
of the
think
career.
he bought wards and stuff like that.
Yeah. Noob in the jungle though, 310 GPM will pick up a refreshment rune in the top lane, and Gauntlet gonna head to the bottom rune Illusions, but Bubbles knows that's there as well. He needs to get the Shell Surf on out, but Gauntlet's gonna win, and he'll pick up the Illusion. So no no rune for Bubbles. Something happened in the bottom lane.
Yeah, something happened in the bottom lane. Balfagor was vomiting on Silhouette, using his ultimate just when he uses grapple, and it just was like following her in the hair. It looked really stupid, but she survived.
Anyway, top lane Kraken just barely able to get away, and Defiler continuing to pound in auto attacks. Has hit level 6, but just has enough mana for the Exorcism. There it is. And this tower is going to be taking a lot of damage. It wouldn't surprise me actually if they manage to defend it, as the creep wave is here. And now it would surprise me, because you can just sit there and tank it for a while. Yeah, so they're going to get this tower probably with the next wave, but it should go down pretty easily. Only 5 seconds left in the Exorcism, but they have enough creep strength at this point. No, teleport actually coming in, so they're going to be able to save this tower. And it's not bad. 7 minutes in, they haven't killed the tower yet in the Hellborn time on the Hellborn side. That's actually fairly okay.
Yeah. Doctor is a strange jungler for this kind of push lineup. He doesn't contribute much early game.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, they banned Tempest, Parasite, and Ophelia, so maybe Noob McNoob just doesn't feel comfortable playing Keeper of the Forest, which I think was available. But
maybe they want something with more care potential, which makes sense. But if he knew how to play Wild Soul, I think that would be better.
Warbeast would have worked.
Oh, Warbeast is even better. Yeah. Although Warbeast would not have been so good early game.
Right, that's the big problem with Warbeast, is his early on jungle is kind of crap.
Yeah. Unless you're really good with microing the wolves.
Yeah, sure. Or if you have, if you got lockdown, then you can get a kill at level 6 in the top lane, but...
No. Oh, well, level 6 is a good, he's good for teamfights for sure.
Yeah.
Super. They're gonna push top now though, with 5 people.
They're deciding, screw this, we haven't killed this tower yet, I want to kill some towers, so Balfagor are gonna show up. Exorcism is back up from Defiler. It's a pretty damn short cooldown even at level 1. And that's gonna be a dead tower. So Bubble's actually gonna jump in there, and he's gonna get a Kelp field onto a whole bunch, but he's gonna die right off the bat, and they will manage to pick off Torture as well. But Kraken also gonna fall. Doctor coming in. Balfagor gonna be able to help get the kill on Empath, and Noob McNoob gonna finish him off with the right click. There's that Doctor Repulsor. So 3 for 1, and Torture obviously not the biggest hero to lose there. Exorcism wasn't even used yet. Now it is. So this is gonna be a tier 2 tower. Balf minions coming right back up, and this is gonna be an easy death.
That was crazy miscommunication right there. They should not initiate.
Destroyed a Legion tower.
Yeah.
And Marcus Moy going to try to counter push in the bottom lane. He's going to get some pretty good damage into this tower, and I actually think he'll even take it. Meantime, no. He did lose 2 towers in the top, so not really the greatest. And looks like they're going to rotate mid.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
Good with 1 tower.
Yeah, not bad. Marcus Moy finishing that off. Also has this Nullstone up sub 10 minutes, so 380 gold per minute on that Solaire. That's definitely not bad.
The father is sitting around with no mana and nothing to Legion with, which is good for Legion. They could even take a fight.
At least I assume she has her Nullstone. Because, oh, actually, bottom lane, Marcus Moy gonna die. Only sitting on the life tube. Bought the nullstone recipe, but she might actually have it. Anyway, hook back in the middle lane onto Bubbles. Very well done. And Myrmidon trying to save his buddy, but can't do so. Glyph of Fortification is slowing down this push a little bit, but not going to stop it by any means.
This Sephiroth, I mean, this Bubbles is such a good game one, but seems like he's been losing focus this last game.
Right.
He's been getting picked off and doing strange plays.
And here we go. It just keeps going. It's not going to stop. Should be yet another easy tower kill. Exorcism back up in a couple of seconds. We'll see if they choose to use it. They probably don't even need it, so they're going to hold it probably for a bot push.
The Hellborn have destroyed a Legion tower.
Towers everywhere. They're going to try to go onto this gauntlet. Kelpie actually can catch 4, but the Hellborn side are ready for it, and Bubble's going to be in a lot of trouble once again. Release Crack can catch a 3, and we'll see if they can get any out of this. Stanmark's just type at the hell on North, crushing everything. Linko 6 and Tiny Die both dying on the Kraken and the Myrmidon. Now Marcus Moy going to get caught out. He's silent, so he can't do much of anything. Also going to fall to the Defiler, who's got the Exorcism up, and this might be their cue to push into the base even. They've still got the Defiler ulti running for 5 seconds, and they're going to try to take a tier 3 tower here. And they might be able to do so, man. That thing is just getting wrecked.
They are obviously not experienced against the push team.
Nope.
They need to keep anti-pushers in the base and then counter-push the lane to get levels experience.
And are we going to have a 12-minute Rax? Doesn't look like it. They're not good enough to be able to do that. And Weedfield not going to connect. That's the problem with Myrmidon right there, is it's really easy to dodge those spells.
Yeah, but they can just go regen and go push again. They have 500 GPM on 4 heroes almost.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know, seems nice. Exorcism will be back
They're
up
gonna
in
do
25
Conquer even.
seconds. Hey, why not? Defiler's ulti cools down. Go kill Kongor.
Yep.
Then take a couple of towers in the bottom lane.
They don't have an Astrolabe, which is kind of weird.
Yeah. Gnome's Wisdom is up on Defiler though, so that'll be helpful. PK on Gauntlet. Helm finish on...
An Astrolabe would have been better then.
Yeah. And actually Balf going for the full Shaman's Headdress, presumably into the Barrier Idol. So he wants to keep the minions alive as long as possible. But yes, he should have gone for the Astrolabe, I think. There's no real reason for him to get Shamans this early on. They don't have that much magical damage. Just the Vestments is probably fine. And Wordicide perhaps did spot Myrmidon here. Could definitely be in some trouble, and in fact will just run away. And hey look, I think they're going to push. What do you think?
I would be extremely surprised if Legion had turned this game. It just feels unturnable for me.
This
they
is
would
looking
have
real bad.
tried the base multiple times for this to even out.
This is looking real bad. Actually, Doctor going to port back to base. He needs out of mana, so I suppose that's why. They will counter push top tier 1. He's going to finish up an Icon, actually, which is going to be a solid pickup based on how many kills they've been getting. And Gauntlet tanking unnecessarily. They have a dual cannon wave, too. Oh, that's just mean.
Destroyed a Legion tower.
Look at those minions from Balthagor. 52 to 58 damage. That's insane.
Well, do they have an Abyssal Skull? No, they don't. So they have no Abyssal Skull and they have no Helm of the or no Astrolabe, which is again kind of surprising. Middle lane, actually, they're trying to defend the push, and we'll see if they can get a Myrmidon kill. Dr. Repulsor is out of mana. Try to use the bottle to get some back up, but the charge taken off quickly, and Magic won't stun. So as these two heroes try to chase down the Legion team, the rest of their team is just like, well, happily kill stuff. Gauntlet with a nice hook there. Gonna catch Myrmidon, and they're gonna kill him. Icon of the God is gonna give a nice gift to Noob there, and Midrax are dead.
It seems like the Legion team are much stronger than the creeps from
Legion barracks has been
Not really.
destroyed. A Legion barracks has been destroyed.
I'm not sure what to say. This is pretty
This is not good if you're Catman champions. So we talked about them taking early leads really in both of the first 2 games, and it worked out for them in Game 2. It didn't work out so much in Game 1. This game they do not have an early lead. In fact, I would say just the opposite. Actually, Doc can take a fair bit of damage here. He does have the tokens, not that big a deal. Marcus might gonna die right off the bat. Hook back onto Bubbles, and that's pretty nice. Empath Wall not gonna do too much. Kelpfield also locking on that, but finally gonna be done. HoN Tour is gonna come out. So actually doesn't do that much either. Kraken is pretty damn tanky at this point. Here comes Myrmidon back up. Gonna try to take the token away from Doctor. Will do so, but he's like, alright, I'm Doctor. I get back to full health and full mana. He will come back to a Kelpfield, but they won't be able to do much of anything against him. And, well, that's the game. So,
that was the game.
Game
there was
one.
a lot of things they could have done that game.
Yeah.
Even after they lost Congar, like first of all, you should always watch for Congar, obviously, but it's a mistake anyone can make. But then they need to counter push. They need to be ready to counter push.
Right.
With Myrmidon and Bubbles, and keep the others pushing out the other lanes, so they get some experience on their opponents. That's the only way they can win team fights. They get experience.
Right.
So yeah.
I mean, they did have a decent counter push team as well, with Silhouette, Death Lotus, you got Bubble, Shell Surf, and you have Myrmidon,
But Silhouette needs to be counter push. Pushing out the lanes.
Fair.
They needed Bubbles and Myrmidon to push under counter push.
And even Empath Wall actually can do a fair bit, not only in terms of a good bit of damage, but also some positioning. Regardless, they pretty clearly didn't really know what to do against that. Early Congar lead, and that just snowballed into an absolute stop. So that series sort of devolved. The first game was really, really even and ended with them killing the Shrine. The second game was pretty even for most of it, and then Catman Champions takes an insurmountable lead with some bad team fights from Solaire Club, and then the third game's just like, well, that lasted for 15 minutes, didn't it?
Yeah, but it's kind of good. It's a good pocket strategy because most of the gold teams doesn't have experience with this kind of thing, so it actually works.
I hate push strats in TMM. So
yeah, I hate playing them, and I hate playing against them. Because one mistake and you're out.
Right. I can feel your pain there, Catman Champions. And regardless, they are out as they lose the series 2-1 to Solaire Club. So Solaire Club going to move on, and Catman Champions will be done in Cycle 4. And that will also do it for this series.